You know, it can be seen as perhaps just a statement, but really, you know, when you're declaring an emergency on something, it really changes that lens of which you look through for every issue, for every department in our government. I've grown up in Victoria, BC my whole life, and I'm a newly elected Saanich councillor and CRD director. I started to get interested in politics, I guess, right when the 2015 election campaign started to pick up. And then after that, just sort of did a number of things as much as I could through high school. And once I was out of high school, I decided to start my own election campaign in 2017. And it started off quite small, and there were times where I felt it's going to be you know, really hard to make this work, but you know, perseverance and having some key people behind me supporting me, it all sort of came together in the end. And now I'm focused on you know, using the power that I have as a councillor in Saanich and as a CRD director to make positive change and do the things that I wanted to be done when I was just a kid in high school. Right after I'd gotten elected, I had a meeting with Victoria Mayor Lisa Helps, and we were talking about some things that perhaps we could be working together on. We felt like the idea of a climate emergency declaration could be something that we could actually get through the CRD board. The board unanimously endorsed it, and now we're starting to see some of the municipalities join as well. My motion to declare climate emergency came with about 6 separate recommendations. So one was to declare a climate emergency. The second was to commit to working towards being a carbon neutral region by 2030. The third recommendation, which was the next really key one, was to have a letter be sent to all the municipalities on behalf of the board. And so that puts the climate emergency declaration on the agenda for every municipality in the CRD. This is really an opportunity now for the whole region to come together. With this motion and with this declaration of a climate emergency, it really gives us the opportunity to put aside our differences and say this is something that we can agree on. This is an emergency. This is you know, a pressing issue that we have to address. Being young in some ways was a disadvantage. You know, I didn't have connections, I didn't have name recognition, I didn't have experience. You know, I didn't have a lot of things to put on my resume. But that was also sort of something that fueled me, something that wanted me to even work that much harder to prove that I really could do this and to actually get elected. And now having gotten elected, I'm trying not to waste any time. Climate change really is a serious issue that's threatening life as we know it. We're having longer, hotter, drier summers. We're having to save water more in the summer. Those are things that we didn't have to worry about as much you know, years or decades ago. These are some small impacts that are starting to happen. You can, you know, sort of ignore them if you want, but at the end of the day, these are only going to get worse. When you've declared a climate emergency, it really just changes the whole foundation of which you govern upon. We're doing a lot of really good things, and now it's about expanding them and expediting our efforts. So where do I see us in 12 years? Hopefully close to achieving carbon neutrality. That's my hope.